It's the action point, no relaxing. Straight from off the rails with your host, Mr. Patrick. Show we attack, then defend and react. Calculate the damage, then resolve in a snap. Facts with this here and ember blade, leave no witnesses. I just close the combat chain and we winning this. Listen, this a blaze, we ain't going scar for scar. And I'm feeling like a hero, we ain't going card for card. It's the action point, no relaxing.
To make sultry eye contact with our webcams.
Yes, yeah, we're all right there.
That's what I like right there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Action Point. My name is Patrick Shaw. I am the host here. It is 9 o'clock at night. I have a peach monster. It's happening just like that. So what brings us all together here? It is a special day here at Off the Rails TCG because we're celebrating World's Weekend. We're doing that with a 2-part special of The Action Point. That's right. Why are we doing this? Because this afternoon, the day we are recording this, James White had his keynote speech and dropped some 2024 organized play bombs and heavy hitter reveal bombs. And I really liked what I had planned. And instead of just completely throwing it out, I talk with my hands. You sons of bitches. So I really liked what we were doing. So we're going to do both talking about heavy hitters and stuff and then do the fun stuff afterwards. I've locked everyone in their respective cages and I will not let them out until I stop recording. So who do we got with us this week? You're a bud. I'm a bud. We're all buds. It's a buds takeover today as everyone here spends too much time on the Fresh and Buds Discord server. So let's meet the panel.
Classic. What the goo order.
All right. First, he is a member of the Table Pit and host of the Table Pit Fight Night Halftime, which I was just recently featured on as a guest there. And I had a great time. So good that I was like, I need to get him on my show now. And here he is. Will Knuckles
with an S.
Excellent. Welcome to the Action Point.
Thank you for having me.
TCG. Next up, he is the host of the Fresh and Buds podcast, the cultivator of the community is Tommy Fresh. Tommy, welcome back to the Action Point.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I had a free night, so
I appreciate you using it to hang out with us. All right. Next up, he is the co-host of the Bud Rush Bells podcast, along with Tommy, Mr. Viz himself. Gary, welcome to the Action Point.
How's it going, Patrick? Good to see you. And I'm really happy to see you, but the co-host of this, I can't believe you really brought down the production, bringing Thomas on. So
it's all about the lowest common denominator here at the Action Point. And the low bar is Tommy Louis. Let's all bring it down. Last but not least, he is the most important person in Fab podcast editing. It is Darth Prentice himself, Greg. Greg, welcome to the Action Point.
Thank you, Patrick. So happy to be
Woo.
here.
It is truly a pleasure to get your face out and onto my screen and onto the screens of our audiences.
Bask in the face, everybody.
Hopefully, once this is out, it will be sounding good in your ears. That's my end goal. No matter what else happens quality wise, as long as you're okay with it, it's going to be. All right. Well, let's talk about how the first part of this episode goes. The way this episode works is this. Each panelist will have up to 90 seconds to spit their hot takes on the topic at hand, and I'll cut them off if they go to time and go to the next person. After everyone's gone, we'll have a chance for rebuttals before moving on. I'll choose a winner of each question based on what I think is the best answer given. After all the questions are answered, the panelist with the most points wins the show and gets a 2-minute platform to say whatever they like within that time before we close up shop. All right, is everybody ready to spit some hot takes? All right.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Just ready to yell at everybody, That's really what today is all about.
Get fired up.
Just here to fight.
All right. First question. The 2024 organized play schedule just came out. $1.5 million in prize support. 3 draft sets. We know of 2 ProQuest seasons, a Road to National season, Nats announced for June, 2 Pro Tours, which we know the locations of both of them, Los Angeles, and Pro Tour number 5 is going to be in Amsterdam, as well as worlds and skirmishes and just everything else. The entire 2024 play circuit schedule was basically laid out in front of us, as well as 18 callings up from 11. Are they now where we wanted Fab organized play to be? Will, start us
Oh,
off.
frick. So okay, here's what I want out of Fab's OP. I want one big event, calling or higher, on the East Coast. That's me being selfish. And there's no way that's not happening with all the stuff that they're announcing. Unselfishly, I would love to have a big event that size. Uh, you know, I want it to be reasonably accessible to every community of Flesh and Blood. I want everyone to be able to access that. I think that is maybe the biggest goal that they should go for. And I I I feel like that's basically announced. Like they're doing that. Next year, we're also getting 3 major international events and a draft set for each of them. In interviews that I can't cite right now, they've said that they wanted roughly imagine 4 draftable sets a year, like 1 per quarter. That sounds great. In late 2021, I said if they keep up with what they're doing by 2023, that they'll be like at that level. But now I can say that in 2025, that it's going to happen in 2025 because I'm not going to be blindly optimistic, like when I was back at Tales of Aria, but because in 2024 it looks like they are taking the next logical step they need to take to be primed to be absolutely perfect in 25. I'd put them at 85% of the way there to what I hoped Fab OP would look like, but looking at it right now, I feel like they are ahead of where I expected them to be right now.
And you're cut off. Excellent. Thank you, Will. Next up, Tommy. What were we thinking about the OP schedule?
Oh man, this is a huge announcement. I think that we can all safely say that a second Pro Tour, back to the original form that we saw initially with 2 Pro Tours in a year, is welcome. I think we're at that level now. Heavy hitters needs to be the huge set that we need it to be to really kick off that year. And I think that is where this kind of big idea of an OP system really hinges on, right? Because we need it, right? Because bright lights, I believe, was a little bit of a down not downside, but like a down moment for Flesh and Blood. And it's also a pretty busy time right now. Worlds, we will see how much it is affected by. Obviously, I don't know when this is coming out, and it was crazy how crazy Worlds was, and uh, I think this is a good thing. 18 callings next year. I heard 50 battle hardens. That is crazy. That's almost 1 battle harden a week. And I worry that it might be too much. I will say that because that is a lot of tournaments. And, hey, listen, Brody Spurlock and Michael Fang can only travel so much. So, like, we will see how it goes. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, your time is up. Gary, what do you got?
How's it going? Yeah, so I want to touch on that 50 battle hardens comment there. Yeah, that's huge. It's so many events. I think it's going to be great for those who are I recently was a judge at the Calling Dallas, and I've been learning a lot about what that looks like. And honestly, like, staffing 50 events is going to be a bit of an undertaking. But luckily, level ones have to work 2 events in a calendar year in order to advance. So I think that their goal of working towards a more consistent OP program is really working out. Again, they need to have the staff to kind of manage those events. I'm really excited because we're getting a battle hardened locally in Philly. I know there's going to be one up in Connecticut in February. So yeah, I'm really excited. I am not really a competitor much anymore. I go more to hang out. And I hope to do a lot more, judging and seeing what that looks like. But I think the OP is going to be fantastic. And Will, funny enough, at Dallas, we ran a round the table event. We did a team sealed side event. So things are really widening up. I'm really excited to see what happens. The new set, we don't want to get too much far into it, but Ultimate Pit Fight Draft. I'm so excited. Like I I'm going to strongly disagree with Thomas and say Bright Lights was a down, because I love Bright Lights. I love Bright Lights with all of my bright little heart. So
You do bring up a good point. Before I get back to that, let's get Greg, your input and insight on to 2024.
Yeah, so I'm super fab dad in terms. Probably really happy with how 2024 works, and I know I certainly am.
Excellent, excellent. Efficient use of your time as well. I appreciate that. Tommy, I just want to touch back on your low point in Flesh and Bright Lights. Is it the 8 Teklos thing, or it's very polarizing, this draft set right now.
So I understand how it came across. I'm not as down on the set in terms of an enjoyment uh factor, I guess is the best way to say it. I think that maybe it is, and this is not just me. This is talking to a lot of people in the community. They feel that maybe it was the wrong time for it, right? Coming out of the last supplemental set that will most likely ever see, right? Which also did not support a lot of the heroes, right? We only got support for the good ones. I'm kidding. But
Oh, spicy.
I agree.
but Bright Lights was kind of in this section. Like, if you don't like Mechanologists, it's really not a great set. And if you didn't like Angels and Demons, that wasn't a great set for you either. And I think maybe it's possible that we might overestimate the amount of people that want to play Limited, which is crazy because I love Limited and I enjoy Bright Lights Draft. I think it's great. But I think Heavy Hitters, the return to form, will be a nice little bounce back, and that's what I hope for, right? Health of the game is at Armories and people, wanting to play the newest set. So,
and I gotta cut you off for the health of the conversation. Does anyone have something quick to add to that, or else we'll move on? Yeah, moving on. All right. The Heavy Hitters trailer premiered as the collective fab community simultaneously splooshed the seat wherever they were sitting. Hours after the announcement, folks are still howling at the moon and humping the air with the reveal of Big Sword Mommy herself, Kassai. Kassai gets an adult hero. If you're thirsty, just let it out. But otherwise, what is your initial reaction to Kassai of the Golden Sands? Tommy, start us off with that one.
I love the design, right? I think this is something that a lot of people have been waiting for, right? I saw Logan Peterson was basically in tears.
A lot of crying going on.
Maybe a little bit too much, but that's for everybody else to decide. But this is a huge moment, I think, for Warrior fans and Kassai fans, and shows a lot of promise for Heavy Hitters. I love the design. I love what they're going for. I just want to play with gold tokens. Gold tokens are so good, right? They are really way better than you think, right? So I'm super excited to see how it plays out. I think this is a great way to get people hyped. Would have liked to have seen some more brute stuff, but I get it. They saved the best. They saved the best stuff for last. I mean, we saw it with Levia redeemed, right? That was like the big last day of spoilers. So we're gonna see some huge brute stuff, I hope. And yeah, Kassai is very hype, and I'm super excited, and I want to play her too. So I wouldn't say I splooshed anything.
You sploosh.
Very
Don't
excited.
worry. Gary, did you sploosh?
No. But you know what I did think about? I did think about how Viserai could be from Volcor. And I
Yeah,
Then he
yeah.
splooshed.
no. But no, I'm really excited because we have a few locals who really love Kassai. I think more heroes in these redundant classes that people love, like warrior. That we have some, we have Dory Quicksilver, we have Kassai, we have Bolton, and just giving more flexibility to these the older classes is really great. Um, I am really still upset that the adult heroes are majestics. I think that is a huge miss. And I know that it's I've played card games for a long time. I know that they're like they're trying something for a few sets, and they're probably going to pull it back eventually when they have the bandwidth to be able to like enact that, when they get the community feedback. But I would say that's my biggest, like, I know we're getting Marvels. I saw that was really cool. But like, if they continue to do this, it will be more frustrating to me than if it's than like them not printing a Blitz Viscerai in 19 months after he's LL'd, and I never forget.
Very well, very well. Greg, adult Kassai.
I mean, yeah, adult Kassai. I'm going to be honest. I it just triggers this like Pavlovic response in my brain from when I like watched The Mummy as a young man and like started to understand what it was like to be attracted to women. Because it just gives me Rachel Weisz energy from that movie. And
I was at
yeah,
Brendan Fraser, but yes, Rachel Weisz.
I mean,
Yeah.
certainly, like everybody in The Mummy awakened me. And now I'm so flustered I can't even speak. But the point
Stop
is,
thinking about the Mummy, Greg.
dude, I can't, dude. It's Imhotep. The Marvels look incredible. Like LSS has been pretty consistent with that. The artists that they hire, the way they just make those look so obscenely good. Like I've maybe played 3 games of Kassai in the 2 and change years that I've been playing this game, and I want to get actively prints of the new young and old Kassai because they just look so obscenely good. We were talking to the Buds Discord. I don't know anything about how to understand Kassai's hero ability. It seems crazy. I'm gonna have to spend a while thinking about it, but it'll probably be awesome. And I'm happy for Logan, and I'm happy for Elaine.
I'll be honest, I lost track of that time and I started it a little bit
Heck yeah.
differently. So I was going for it. You ended. This is fine. This is great. Fantastic for me. Will, your thoughts on Kassai of the Golden Sands?
So, not to break any hearts, but if this game was just blank cards with rules and numbers on them, I would continue to play this game absolutely into the ground. Like the big thing is just playing games casually with friends. I just love that. So I'm not simping over her. But what I am simping over is that puzzle of a toolbox or text box. Holy frick. So to read it quickly, it's if you've drawn a card, your weapons cost 1 less. Once per turn, banish 2 red, 2 yellow from your graveyard. On hit for a sword, you get a gold token. There's so much going on here, right? Banishing 4 cards out of your graveyard. I definitely want to do that every single turn. So you got to get 4 cards into your graveyard. So the first thing I'm thinking of is like a Cheerios list. Everything costs 0. And you're throwing it all in the bin every turn. And then also cards that like loot from the top of your deck, right? So the card trade in says when you play this, you can discard a card if you do draw a card, or maybe it's the other way around. That sounds really funny in this. Yeah, that's I'm so interested to see what this hero shakes out to look like, because it's such a it feels like every hero is just doing something new and unique every time they come out with one. I love this freaking game.
It is really, really good. And the more that I think about her ability, I I realize that Blood on Her Hands is not unplayable. There, it's free lots of times, repeatedly, because you're not breaking courage, because she is courage on a stick, amongst other things. As you know, and as I feel like I'm one of the older members of the Fab community. You can see there's a lot of gray happening here, but I'm in my late 30s. But I'm I'm old enough to understand why people are simping, but I'm also old enough to realize that girls with knives aim to kill. So it might be fun while it's happening, but just realize what you're going to get into and it's dead. That's what's going to happen. So just be careful with your activities with girls with knives. All right. Moving on to the next question here. Unless did anyone want to add anything to the
Yeah, if you don't mind, Pat, I've got
go for it.
something here. Like it's probably not going to work, but the first thing it seems like, at least where Greg's lizard brain goes, is I should probably wear Crown of Dominion for the free gold token that I get, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Kassai's hero ability is also banishing the cards from your graveyard, which is just regicide stonks for Arachne, and sooner or later, that's gonna get dangerous enough that Taylor Morrow is gonna win a calling somewhere on Arachne doing that. So, like, again, I'm way too smooth-brained to, like, figure out how to do it. Like William said, like, what is going on with this text box? How does this hero actually work? And certainly when we actually get the set, things will make more sense. But yeah, it just makes me afraid to play Arachne more. So
sure. I know day one Kassai, I'm high on high striker, so that's where I'm at. Or you really have to go into the dregs of Everfest. And it's like, oh my god, right? look at them all generating. Right? Not enough copper, Gary. Not enough copper on that.
Not enough resources if you play in the red.
All right. Kassai's specialization introduces sellsword allies. We have new keywords in wager and clash, and heavy reliance on, at the very least, gold. A game known for its degrading game state model, we're saying, right, start with a greater board state and diminish over time, as well as low variance, seem to continue to introduce concepts that break those rules. Is Fab risking losing some of its identity that's separated it from the TCG pack with these introductions? Greg, I'm going to start off the conversation.
No, I don't think they're losing their identity at all. I think with every game, and really with most things in general, you create a set of rules to limit yourself, and then you spend the rest of the time figuring out how you can bend and or get around those rules that you made to make things interesting. So I think that's what they're doing. They're really just leaning into, like, how can we make things more interesting and honestly offer more decision points for players. Like wager specifically is the thing that I'm the most, well, honestly, and clash as well, but wager particularly is my speed, because the idea of looking my opponent in the eye and saying, yeah, I'm going to wager for a vigor token or for a gold token with you, and then they have to, like, on top of the fact that they have to do the mental math and try and soul read me if I've got a pummel in my pocket, right? Or whether I'm just happy to see them. And then they also have to anticipate all of the other stuff that could happen. It's just such an interesting dynamic that I think can really benefit some players, and honestly probably benefit less experienced players almost as much as experienced players. Because if somebody is really trying to think about how somebody's going to play something, but it's literally just somebody like me that's like, yeah, I'm going to wager every single time whether I've got it or not, because it's fun and we're going to see what the hell happens. Somebody like Michael Hamilton is going to be trying to, like, figure out what I'm trying to do, what I could have, and then I'm just going to be laughing at the end while they make a gold token.
Will, Fab identity. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so Fab's identity, the concept of the, like, I think you put it, degrading game state. It's kind of true. It's actually not very true. Board presence has been in the game since seismic surges and quicken tokens. A little bit of board state is expected in every class. Guardians, deck size is their board state, because they have this thing there that's about twice as tall as your deck, and it says, beat me, I dare you, right? It's just sitting there. And so I don't think adding a little bit of board state to every class actually is a problem, because I feel like at this point most classes do have it a little bit. As for low variance, because Fab is very low variance compared to a lot of other card games, wager, clash, and gold tokens are all pretty high variance. You don't know what you're drawing with gold tokens. You don't know what you're getting off the top of your deck with clash. And you don't know if the attack's going to hit with wager. Now, if you've intimidated 4 cards out of their hand, it better heckin' hit, or I'm going to get mad. but you don't 100% know. You don't always know. And so, I don't know. I feel like it's not much different than it has been.
That's fair. That's fair. You're wrong. That's fair. No.
Sure. All right.
No. So for clarification's sake, right? So degrading board state, we talked about, so auras, tokens that last a turn. Agreed. I guess my perspective more on permanents that stay on the board, and you're building a board state over time, namely illusionists right now. But so with the addition of the cell swords, have another class with additional permanents on the board. Tommy, I'm taking up your time. What do you got for us?
Well, I actually enjoy this kind of addition to the warrior class specifically, and I've talked about it not ad nauseum, but I have talked about it before, that I think that the weapon matters is great for warrior, but it can't be the entire identity, because we've seen it with Dorinthia. Sure, Dorinthia is really cool and can definitely win games, very powerful, but it has a ceiling, right? And then Bolton, they tried to do the attack action thing with Bolton that still mattered with the weapon and the different things they could do, and certainly very powerful. We saw a combo deck come out of it. I think this is a great way to increase the kind of overall picture that warrior is, and I like the addition here, because warriors, maybe need some sort of an army, right, to be able to combat something, and like that's like the top down design, right? Like a warrior of course would have other warriors fighting with them, right? It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I was surprised we didn't see it in Dust Till Dawn, because that was a very war themed thing, but we're seeing it now, and I enjoy the addition here, and I don't think it's going to lose the identity, because guess what? They're going to have to take risks. We saw it with Bright Lights; they took a huge risk there, and that's great, because that means that they're willing to do that to try to make the game a better thing. And I really enjoy the fact that they're taking some more shots here.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Gary. Your addition to the conversation.
Oh yeah, well, I will take any amount of allies on the battlefield, because Mauvrion Skies is the best card in the game. So I will take any opportunity for a player to say, "Ooh, look, I have a bodyguard," and I'll say, "Okay, on hit, make 3." Um, so I am really happy to see this, because I think for Kassai, thematically, I love what Tommy was saying about this top-down design, because she is a leader of the Centauri, and so this is very much like she is the queen, so she would have her warriors beside her. I I do agree with like the degrading board state kind of thing. And we see the kind of how powerful passive power is when you think of OTK strategies. I won't mention which hero has one of those, but there's a lot of value in persistence. And I think that there's so the variant to the variance level, I actually really like this, because when you think about wager and you think about this, is it going to hit kind of thing, any ability that requires your opponent to block is taking cards out of their hand. I know Tommy's thinking swing big with this kind of mentality, right? Because if you think swing big, 2 for 8 on not hit, make a quicken, right? So a swing big is really just a wager, that if it doesn't hit, they get a quicken. And then your opponent on that turn just has to decide, how big should I swing?
Swing super big is
Yeah.
always the right answer there. Excellent.
Tell me
Thank you
about
very
the
much
swing
for that. All right. Before we go on to the next one, does anyone have anything they'd like to add to that?
I do actually.
Go for it.
I had a thought that I really like the idea of wager, because it is expanding on, I mean, what we've seen with like swing big is like, oh, maybe you really want this quick and Dogan, especially one of my new favorite cards that keeps growing on me every time I play one is Intoxicating Shot from this last set, Bright Lights, the expansion slot for Riptide, where, hey, listen, take it, see what happens. You can get some benefits, but it could bite you in the butt. So I really like that direction that they're going. This is a great design space for them to kind of explore.
It does make me wonder about a Guardian being added into this mix of like warriors and brutes have that inherent, kind of gamble mindset. Will they, won't they? Whether it's, get the card they hit or play the reaction, right? And then all of a sudden now Guardian, which is blues go bonk, consistent is now also wagering. What does that look like with a high variance model? It could be scary. Could be very.
I think
scary.
my guess is they will not go for variance because we have a very strong local Bravo, Dimitri. I know Tommy knows him. And he refuses to play cards that block for 2. He's very much like, no, we're not playing this. We're not branching out. It has to be very tested. Like when the Round the Table product came out, he was like, I would only consider one of these cards if it was blue, and it's not blue, so we're not changing the list. That kind of thing, right? So my guess is that Guardian won't, because their cards are so expensive and their whole game plan does rely on that consistency.
Mono blue deck.
Yeah.
Mono blue.
That's the dream, it seems.
Yeah.
All right. The last one for part 1. This on the OP poster, there was this face on it. There's this. I call him the Mr. Regular Boy's haircut. It's just the blonde side part. You really just want to punch him. Who is that? And what do you think he does? We start off with Gary.
Absolutely.
Start us off.
Well, here's my take. This guy looks really. I think this guy looks really cool. I wouldn't want to punch this guy. He looks like he's got a lot of things going on. He's got a lot of hobbies. A lot of chill friends. I mean, this guy's flipping a coin, right? I mean, who would want to punch this guy? He's got $1.5 million. He's got $1.5 million. You're gonna punch this guy, or are you gonna rob him? Why are you gonna do that? You wanna if he's got $1.5 million, you're gonna be his friend. I mean, I wouldn't go to his barber, but like, I mean, this guy. I mean, he's got like I don't know how strong, like metal density wise, gold armor is. Probably soft. You probably could get a good punch in there and it would crunch. But I mean, he might be losing a lot of bets, but I mean, this guy's pretty cool. I mean, he's smug. He's smug, but he's pretty cool. That's my take.
Fair enough. Craig, what do you think of this guy?
This dude has invested heavily into multiple cryptocurrencies.
100%.
This dude's. I swear to God, if this guy's name isn't Chaz or Chad, LSS has really missed the mark on this one. Yeah, I don't really have anything that's not alarmingly rude to say about old Chaz here. This dude went to Dartmouth because his dad went to Dartmouth.
Okay, Gossip Girl.
Yeah, basically. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this dude definitely was in Gossip Girl. It's not Chad Michael Murray was that actor, right? Am I confusing One Tree
No,
Hill
that is
with
Chad.
Chase Crawford.
Oh,
Chase Crawford.
That's this guy.
We're doing a rewatch.
That's this. XOXO. I cede my time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Will.
This is adult Brevant. So look at the armor. This is clearly a new Guardian, and I'm gonna love rubbing his cocky, smug face into my opponents at Armory. When he says pay 0, give your next attack dominate or whatever broken thing he says, I'm going to take the hero card because it's an activated ability and slide it all the way onto their playmat so that they know exactly what's going on. All right. Unrelated though, if we get a Guardian Brute hero card, like a dual class hero card that's Guardian Brute, I quit all other classes. There's none more. That's all I'm going to play. Guardian Brute, that's it. That's all I'm going to play. Or at least till we get ice back again.
That's fair. Excellent. Tommy.
Well, my thoughts here are going to feel a little awkward after both Greg and Gary really dunked on this guy. because
I think he's handsome.
I'd hang out with him. Why not?
I thought it was Dagan White. So, I mean, I'm really happy that they finally made Dagon into a card. The Zookeepers, that's what it's going to be called.
Oh.
You know, look at that blonde, beautiful hair. And it looks like Dagon White if he had like did some like really intense jaw workouts, because that thing looks really strong. But yeah, I gotta say it is a Guardian that cares about gold. So yeah,
A guardian of gold.
yeah. So yeah, I don't really like the look it's giving me. Right? This
This
certainly
smug fucker.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And I don't want to diss the artist or anything like that. I know he's supposed to be looking at the gold, but he looks like he's looking at me, which is like one of those paintings. And but yeah, I'm all for Dagon White as a hero, and I'm glad he's been hitting the gym, the jaw gym.
It certainly has, this square-jawed motherfucker. All right, that is going to wrap us up for part one, because we're gonna move on to part two really quickly. But we do have a winner of the episode. Today's winner is Will. Congratulations! By the skin of your teeth, you pulled it off. So you have 2 minutes to say, or up to 2 minutes. You don't have to max it out. Whatever you'd like to say about whatever you want. Don't get me off of YouTube.
Well, first, to get you off YouTube. No, all I gotta say is I'm very excited about this set. I love Welcome to Wraith. This definitely feels like it's going to be adjacent, right? Very similar heroes. I'm excited to play the new Guardian cards. I'm excited to get more blue 6s for Guardians. And yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I want to say. Is I'm just really excited.
Excellent. All right. What a slap in the face if there's no blue 6s. Right? There's got to be one, right? There'd
Like
be
a
one.
majestic.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
It's gonna
Guardian.
be a Guardian
Guard-
Warrior.
Yeah,
6 is what it's
yeah,
gonna be.
yeah.
And me, who loves playing
Warrior.
Warriors, is gonna be brooding.
One thing we didn't touch on is that warriors are getting attacks, like generic warrior attacks.
Yeah. No, they actually
So,
are. Yeah,
more than
yep,
just
that's pretty
it's a
exciting.
very good point. It is. There's only so much time in the day, unfortunately, but that's the beauty of the
Yeah.
format. It leaves so much left to keep going. All right,
Yeah.
that is going to do it for this
Exciting.
part of the Action Point. All right, you are watching / listening to the Action Point. The Action Point theme was written, produced, and performed by Griff. The podcast audio stream is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more streaming platforms. Head over to X, formerly Twitter, and follow us at Off the Rails TCG. Then head over to YouTube and subscribe to us there. Don't forget to like, comment, and click the bell notification for the latest OTR content coming out all the time. OTR is a free-to-join Discord. Click the link to join in and be the first to see new content, as well as have a hand on how the show is made. Shout out as well to the team, the Tavern Brawlers. Head over to the Brawlers Discord, where you can sign up for all sorts of weekly and monthly events for some of your favorite TCGs, including Flesh and Blood and Alpha Clash, and be on the lookout this winter for the second annual tournament of judges. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you everyone for joining me, and remember, kids, it's more fun when it's off the rails. Good night.
It's the Action Point, no relaxing. Straight from Off the Rails with your host, Mr. Patrick. Show we attack, then defend and react. Calculate the damage, then resolve in a snap. Facts with this here and Ember Blade, leave no witnesses. I just close the combat chain and we winning this. Listen, this a blaze, we ain't going scar for scar. And I'm feeling like a hero, we ain't going call for card. It's the Action Point.